The tough reality in crypto is that a lot of people end up losing a lot of money. But the reasons why it happens, well, it's not really rocket science. The same things tend to repeat time and time again in this market. You need to learn these mistakes, learn how to avoid them. And so in today's video, I'm going to be explaining some of those things and how you can put yourself on the winning side of the equation. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if that's a topic you'd like to learn about, maybe just stay up to date with, a quick tap on the thumbs up button to let me and the YouTube algorithm know that you do like this kind of stuff would be freaking awesome. By the way, every single week my team and I produce Wealth Mastery, cryptocurrency investor report, DeFi tutorials, altcoin reviews, NFTs, token sales, airdrops, portfolio updates, and much, much more. Right now, we are running a 20% discount. So if you sign up for a premium package for 6 months, you're gonna get 20% off of that order. And of course, you can always just sign up for free as well if you wanna hop onto the free version. But for those of you who'd like to go premium, 20% discount right now. Check it out using the link down below in the description. Now, let's go ahead and get into this topic. Here is the tough truth with crypto. A lot of people lose a lot of money, and the reasons, they just keep repeating themselves why it happens. They say there's nothing new under the sun. Well, there's also nothing new in markets, really, when it comes to human psychology, which is the biggest reason why people end up losing money in these markets. Of course, the biggest thing we have to talk about, fear and greed, buying tops, selling lows. This is the thing that'll screw you up the most in these markets. You have to find some kind of zen with what goes on in the volatility of these markets. Crypto's massively volatile. Stocks are pretty volatile recently too. We've seen some massive daily drops on stocks, some massive peak to bottoms on stocks, which have just been tremendously brutal and savage. Crypto, though, much more volatile as an asset class overall. In order to be in this market, you have got to learn to filter out this constant noise and fear, and also the greed, because those two emotions, fear and greed, will screw you up beyond anything else. The fear will keep you from buying and accumulating when the prices are low. In fact, the fear will probably get you to sell at massive losses when the markets are down. Likewise, the greed, when it starts going, not that we're in a greed time right now, but when we do get back into a big time of greed, well, guess what? Your mind flips in an opposite direction. All of a sudden it goes, everything's gonna go up forever. I'm a genius. Let's bet more at the top. I'm never gonna sell anything ever. I'm never gonna take any profits. That's how you get yourself into trouble. The sad reality of the market is most people are buying high and selling low, which is the exact opposite of how winning is done in this game. Buy low, sell high, look at fear as an opportunity when everybody else is afraid. What's the old saying? Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Write that on your wall or something. It's a great investing lesson, and it's so true. If you look at the people who've made the most money in these markets, whether it be crypto or stocks or whatever, have been people who bought at times of pessimism and fear and then sold into greed later on. Now, another thing I want to talk about you with, marrying your bags. Happens. It happens. I've got into some long-term relationships with some bags that I necessarily didn't want to have long-term relationships with. It happens, okay? It happens. And here's the thing. You have to understand when you're getting into any position, is this going to be a long-term bag? Bitcoin, Ethereum, long-term bags, I'm happy to hold those for till the cows come home, right? It's fine. Other altcoins, they might be medium-term investments, for example. And there's a few other long-terms that cryptos that I hold as well. But then you have your medium-term investments, things that you might be want to hold for a few years. For example, see how things ride out. It's a new technology. It's a new game. You have to wait, a year or two for the game to release, et cetera, et cetera. You're holding on for a while and you're going to expect volatility. And then there's those coins that you get in and you're just hoping it's going to moon. It's a dog coin or something like this. And it doesn't moon and you end up holding it down and down and down and down and down. You have to understand altcoin investing is massively risky. Yes, some altcoins will give you 100x returns. Others will go down 99%. That's the reality of cryptocurrency investing when it comes to altcoins. And here's a little math equation for you. Let's say that you invest in 5 cryptocurrencies, 5 altcoins, all high risk. You take $10,000, put $2,000 in each of those coins. Now let's say 3 of those coins go to 0. One of those coins, flat, doesn't do anything. One of those coins does 100x. Did you make money? You just lost all your money on 3 coins, but one did do 100x, one stayed flat. Have you made money on this? Have you lost money on this? And how much was lost or made? Find the answer to that question, because that is altcoin investing in a nutshell. A lot of these are not going to do well long term. You cannot get married to these bags, which means you gotta cut them at some point and take profits. And look, sometimes that means cutting a loser and taking a tax loss harvest, which is something you can do. You should look into it, most jurisdictions anyway. The other thing is that when you have an altcoin that has pumped 100 freaking X, man, take some profits on it. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I know now is not the time to be talking about taking profits because the whole market's down. I get it. But this is the reason that most people find themselves getting into trouble. It's because when their coins do pump, they don't end up taking any money off of the table, which is exactly what you've got to do. You got to take some money off the table. You don't have to sell everything either. This is an important thing to point out. You don't have to sell your entire bag. You can keep a moon bag. I've done this very successfully with many coins. Goes up 5x. You cut off 20%. Goes up another, 5x, and so it's up 10x now. Well, now you cut off another 20%, and then it's up 30, 40x, whatever. You cut off some more, and I've got some coins that now are significant percentages of my portfolios, even though I've sold like 75% of these coins already, just because the value's gone up so much and I kept those moon bags. So don't get married to your coins. Be willing to take profits when they are pumping. The ability to click the sell button is honestly the one thing that will differentiate the winners from the losers in this market long term. And yes, you can keep moon bags. Yes, you can have long-term investments, right? You can have wealth storage in Bitcoin, wealth storage in Ethereum, but you have to realize that a lot of these altcoins, at some point, you're going to want to say goodbye. They will have big pump seasons, and then some of them will just straight up die afterwards. Some of them will have a pump season, and they'll have another pump season. You'll get a second chance at taking profits. Something to keep in mind here. Another thing that a lot of investors make the mistake on doing is having zero risk management, not even thinking about risk management. How do I manage risk in my portfolio? Manage risk in my portfolio? What are you talking about, Lark? I just YOLO'd 100x on Dogecoin, man. There's no risk management here. You have to manage risk in your portfolio. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. Never go all in on some random altcoin. If you're going to go all in on anything, do it on Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's, you'll be okay long term. You're going to get a 20x out of either of those. I believe that Bitcoin is going to $1 million a coin. That's a little over a 20x right now. You want to play it safe? Do that. If you're going to go all in on something. But if you're going to go all in on some random altcoin thing, well, this is only got like a $10 million market cap. If it gets up to $1 billion, I go all in on it. I'm going to be such a rich genius. The reality is that puts you in such a tough situation. If that coin goes down, you're losing a significant percentage of your entire investment portfolio because of that. Often with these high-risk altcoins, I do 1% or less of my total portfolio allocated into that. Keep my risk very low. If that coin goes to 0, I've only lost 1% of my portfolio. I can deal with that. If I put 25% of my portfolio in and that coin goes to 0, not cool, man. Not cool. Also, never invest more than you can afford to lose. That's such a true thing to say, and not enough people follow it, because the reality is if you invest more than you can afford to lose, it keeps you up at night, it stresses you out, it makes you panic more when we do get into these times of fear, and also it means that if you run into a situation where you need cash, suddenly you start having to sell your investments at a loss, which sucks. You don't want to have to put yourself in that situation. Invest responsibly, guys. Seriously. If you don't have the time to be playing around in the altcoin forest, just stick to the top 10 coins. That's another way to manage your risk. things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, a couple of their top guys, your Polkadots, your Solanas, your Cardanos, whatever else. These are safer plays in the market compared to a lot of the stuff that you see farther down the list. So that's another way you can sort of manage your risk by just not getting into the altcoin game at all. If you don't have the time or the risk appetite for that, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. That's straight up. Another thing you have to keep in mind and why a lot of investors are losing so much money in this market, short time frame thinking. How do I get rich overnight? What is the coin that's going to make 100x for me tomorrow? And so you end up chasing these really high risk coins and taking a lot of losses, jumping into the next high risk coin, trying to double down, get your losses back. It's gambler's mentality kind of stuff. Nice, slow, steady investing, taking your time, building good entries into coins, finding ones that you think have, mid to long-term potential. It's a hard thing. You gotta find the needle in the haystack. There's a lot of junk in crypto, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And yeah, as we mentioned with our little math problem there earlier, don't be afraid to diversify and spread your bets out a little bit, because even if you think you got yourself a winner, again, you don't want to go all in. You still want to manage your risk. You still want to understand that, you might have to hold on to that coin through some real volatility. Just so you are aware, the people who've made the most money in crypto are those who've had low time preferences and got themselves into fundamentally strong coins. Easier said than done, obviously. But that's the truth of how some of the biggest gains have been made in this market. And the final point I want to make before we end this video, just not seeing the big picture. That's what shakes a lot of people out of their positions. They see some negative news headline come out. This country's doing this with crypto regulation. Somebody said this over here. Bitcoin's bad for the environment, et cetera, et cetera. All this stuff that you hear all the time in the media shakes people out of their positions. They're not taking the big picture view. The big picture view, it can't get any simpler than this. I know I talk about this all the time, but it's just that damn important. This is the talking point to remember. 3.4 billion cryptocurrency users by the year 2030. That is the estimate right now. Even if that estimate is only half right, this thing is going to the moon. We are going into the tens of trillions of dollars market cap with just half that number. If we get the whole 3.4 billion people on board, oh, buddy, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Zoom out, understand the big picture, understand what is being built, all the adoption that's happening, and you will have a very different attitude towards investing in this market. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis for today. You let me know what you think about all this down below in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching, and peace out till next time.